Welcome back to the Impossible Creatures Replay channel. My name is Will, and today I am joined by Davo.
Hello.
And Davo, what are we looking at this evening?
We are looking at Midway Atoll, specifically Mutt's lab on Midway Atoll, as we are going to watch a fantastic 1v1 between Mutt and Nisperox, who is in the cyan in the upper left.
Now, if
So
you're
we've
watching
been
these
told that this
videos,
is an excellent game.
and a very, very long game, we are told, so
Yes.
strap in. We'll get it underway now because things are often a little bit slow in the early game on Midway.
Take out all enemy labs. Let's get to it.
Yeah,
And
Midway is such a large map.
Exactly. I mean, like early water chambers are pretty common, and they can go anywhere. But until that kind of level 2 zone, you don't see too much going on. Maybe some land grabs here.
Yeah, there's so much coal in your base that you can, and your base is so far away with the swimming speed that you can get away with a single rod or two very easily. Sometimes you can get advanced structures and do a bunch of things before even starting to research level 2 on Midway and get away with it because your base is so defensible and there's so many resources that are there.
And that might have been a little bit prophetic because both players only going for one rod so far. Oh, nope, here we go. Nisperox coming out with another one. Now, if you're watching these videos kind of chronologically as they come out, Nisperox may be kind of a new name to you. He is fresh on the scene, but he has been playing extremely well. I don't think I've faced him too much myself. Davo, you might have more experience.
Yeah, I've played Nisperox. Nisperox is an excellent player. He's very fundamentally sound. Yeah, I mean he's just a very, very good player. I've had the fun time of playing against him and Yagami on the same team. They're a very strong duo.
Yes, of
Very hard to deal
course.
with.
That was the Yagami Nisperox versus Davo Nibbling Monster match, which was very good. Also gusted on this channel, I think. Full rods from Nisp before level 2. Very interesting.
Yes, yeah, it is quite interesting. Nisperox tends to use units quite a lot. He's doesn't really rely on henchman combat particularly, but generally makes powerful units. One of his standard water units is, I think, a tuna gazelle, which is quite electricity intensive. So he's going to need those rods when he hits level 2.
Yeah, and his elec economy is really strong. They both can hit 2 at about the same time. It's really interesting to see a player not opt for millions of hench in the early game, which is very much the meta now, I believe.
Yeah, I think Nisperox has been playing for a while, so I think this is sort of perhaps a bit of an older play style that he's just using in the modern game, so to speak. So yeah, here we see the gazelle tunas with their 88 electricity cost.
Oh, getting to this geyser just in time for it to be completed. He's going for the hench.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do that. You might as well just focus this geyser down.
Yeah, I think he's just taking what's there. He should be able to kill the hench.
No, intercepted.
If there wasn't the lobsters, I guess.
Wow, and that hench is going to live to build another geyser.
Yes, Mutt is taking some pretty good real estate there, but that early geyser steal will not last too much longer because these gazelle tunas do a lot of damage, especially once pack hunter's active.
He popped the upgrade on the geyser there to get a little bit more health for it. I'm not sure if that's worthwhile, but it can be fun just to delay these gazelles a little bit.
Yeah, I think if Mutt had pushed up with his units, he could have probably made it worth it. It probably did not pay for itself with how little time the generator was upgraded for.
Yeah, but a fun gamble.
Absolutely, yeah.
And meanwhile,
I systematically upgrade my generators.
Yeah, basically reflexively at this point. Often I'll be clicking on my geysers and I'll be like, wait, this is already fully upgraded? When did that happen?
Yeah, it's a good habit to get into. It's better to click on a geyser and realize you can't upgrade it than
never to click at all.
You haven't upgraded it. Yeah.
As Shakespeare said. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Famous quote from Shakespeare.
Mutt is he's just kind of staking out this island, hasn't built anything yet, but he is kind of developing this cliff presence. Fairly even so far. We're going 3 from Nisperox, and we're going 3 from Mutt. Wow, kind of similar here.
Yeah, Mutt has had the early electricity advantage with the geyser steel. Um, so so he's been able to go to level 3 earlier, and we're also seeing that Mutt has pretty good map awareness and scouting with the henchman on the bottom island, and he already had the North Island, and he scouted Nisperox's base, so he has a bit more information. But I think he's going to lose this generator because his
He
units are too
is.
slow to rotate.
Exactly, and also he's lacking his 4th rod, which doesn't make too much of a difference. He's probably got grid by this point.
He may have built it at his expansion. I'm not sure.
No, I didn't see it come
No,
up.
he's just forgotten.
And these
It's easy to forget about that.
Gazunas are dominant on this map because they're just gazooming around. They're just claiming these geysers left and right.
Yes, that's right. You could call them speed or something because they have 40 water speed and just such good stats for a level 2 unit. I mean, the
Yeah.
health and the damage is really good.
When they're that fast, you can kind of get away with the 88 electricity cost because there's no need for them to die, right? You can just leave.
Yes. Yeah, you have to stay on top of it in terms of your micro, but Nisperox is definitely good enough to do that. So
I
this
almost feel...
expansion is about to get hit pretty hard.
Yeah, it's getting rolled. I almost feel like he should have just sent them without the eels because the eels are just kind of getting in the way here, you can see.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a pathing problem there, but it looks like he doesn't actually want to hit that expansion.
No, he
Nope,
saw
so
Mutt's...
Mutt got towers and
He saw Mutt's unit ball come in. Mutt's quite slow. I mean, this is 30 water speed on this Kamad Shark and still kind of nothing compared to Gazuna.
yeah, 40 speed is that's cheetah territory if you're comparing to land units, and like in water that's even better.
Yeah. Interesting to see that these Porcupus upgraded have almost as much speed as these. Oh, never mind. The Kamads have been upgraded as well. Never mind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but those are pretty fast. I mean, a lot of the water speed on a Pacific octopus is actually on its head. Like you get water speed from the head. So
yes.
So 29 water speed with just body and tail is it's more than I would have expected.
I agree. And here's the some of the more contentious units in the meta at the moment are these level 3 big skipper caterpillars.
Oh yes. Skipper Caterpillar, the best artillery stock in the game, in my opinion. But
Yeah, no, definitely.
others will say it's the Bombardier. And that's
I think in the immune
that's
meta,
making the
it's just got to be the skipper, you know. Oh, meanwhile, Gazunas have taken out this bottom island from Mutt. But looking on the minimap, Mutt's just got this blue cloud that just keeps kind of rotating around and pulling back.
Yeah, it's gradually pushing. It's interesting because Mutt has decided to contest Nisperox's expo. He's built a workshop. He's built 2 chambers. Nisperox's expansion.
Yeah, he's going pretty hard here.
So I did see, also you should look at the Bombardier units from Nisperox because these
Gorgeous.
are very cheap.
Yeah, you're right. Wow, that's hilarious.
8840 is these are level 3 long range artillery that are much cheaper than Nisperox's level 2 melee, and they're going to have an influence on this game. From comments I've seen from Mutt, they are going to play a significant role.
I wouldn't be at all surprised. I mean, they're the kind of unit that if we saw a lot of players using them, it would just be funny. But in the hands of someone with good micro, these could be pretty frightening.
Yes, I mean they are extremely slow, only 16 water speed.
That's
They
right.
make up for it with range, but you need to babysit them with other units, otherwise they're gonna get absolutely shredded by faster units.
This is kind of I mean the Mutt henchmen have been expunged from this expo. Meanwhile, we're still fighting up north, and
Yeah.
I do feel like the polar billars. I mean the price, the coal price difference between the Bombardipus and the polar billar is pretty magnificent.
Yeah, the price difference is absolutely massive, and the site as well is
That's
a
true.
significant difference because without Mutt having melee units or other ways of seeing these skipper caterpillars, they only have 20 sight, which isn't enough to really use the long range that they have from the artillery.
Well, if they're being attacked by these artillery units, then at least these will appear in the fog of war.
Yes,
But
but then they'll be out of range.
they'll be out of range, exactly. Gaza whales at level 4, very nice. I love to see a level 4 killer whale. Not at all common these days.
Yeah, Nisperox likes those units. He likes his gazelles, he likes his pack hunter, and
Yeah, this is really just gazelles and octopus, but never together. Never the two shall mix.
yes, never the two shows. That's correct.
And Mutt's done a good job of scouring this expo. Mutt has really the material advantage here. This is actually looking very good for him at the moment.
Yeah, he does have a bit of a larger economy, although Nisperox did manage to take the mid geyser, which will insulate him a little bit from losing the bottom expo.
True. I
But,
wonder
yeah,
if these caterpillars can actually hit this geyser.
I don't think so.
I think it's close, but I
we'll
don't
see.
think so.
Yeah, I mean, especially without being able to see inside the
Yes.
volcano.
Yes, that is true. Oh, good cycle around the top from Nisperox, getting messy, taking out this Northern Expo. Still
And
doing
that's-
work with his level 2s.
Yeah, that's where I was saying with his fundamentals, like this Bronx he doesn't forget about parts of the map. He's always active, always looking for things to do with his units, and this is this is where it's gonna get tough for Mutt against these level 4 Sonic trying to take out
Oh,
the henchmen, but they're backing away.
interesting. I think he could have taken out every hench at that expo there basically for free. Maybe he was worried about these. Oh my god, the Sonic hitting every single chameleon in the world. Good grief.
Yeah, those chameleons, they got kind of stuck in a choke there.
They did. They've
They should
mostly
have the
recovered.
range to. They should have the range to have a better arc than the killer whales, but they are at a level disadvantage. I'm pretty sure.
Very much so, yeah. Oh, good burst there from Mutt. Well done.
Wow.
Mutt has managed.
Those sonic booms.
That was
That
really,
is a
really huge.
massive play.
That was like thousands of coal just dropped on the ground there.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah, my
nutty.
goodness. Those booms might have paid for themselves just in electricity costs.
Yeah, they really might. I think they actually did. Wow. Cost-effective booms at level 4. Wow, that's so cool.
That is pretty amazing. But Nisperox is keeping up the pressure on these middle expos. It's interesting that Mud has managed to take them, and Nisperox doesn't have any expansions. So really, if Mud can hold on to these islands, then the economy is going to make a huge difference, and eventually Mud will just be too powerful.
Yeah, I mean, is he going 4 yet? We've got to see him level up if he's going to remain competitive with these Gaza whales, because the Sonic on these guys is going to be really good against most of what Mutt's working out here, especially with Nisperox's micro. He can get him in close and hit lots of units with that cone.
Absolutely.
These Garfish rams are not actually a bad call against them if you can get enough.
Yeah, the horns will help, I think. Well, they don't have that high defense, really.
No, but
Okay, the
it's more
horse
about just stopping the Sonic, getting him to melee range so that they don't hit multiple of your units with every single
Yeah,
attack.
that's true. That's true. With the charge and the frenzy, they can close very quickly.
Wow, they're just slowly advancing up this hill. This is like something from the Pacific in World War II. Absolutely brutal fighting.
Yeah, this is definitely the brutal area for sure. And Mutt continuing to spend Ilek on these bursts, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
because these
I'm
towers are
here
going to take
for it.
forever to kill. But,
Yeah. I like it a lot.
It is slowing down his level 4. If he's ever going to be able to make it.
If he's ever going to get there, Nisp is expanding to the south. Good stuff. Very lovely. And these guys are policing up north, trying to get this island back for Mutt.
No.
And the artillery is back in force as well. That is the correct play from Nisperox here. He's kind of thrown these Gaza whales into the meat grinder enough times now. Now he knows to use this long-range artillery to take out this sound beam.
Yeah, and since the Geyser whales are sonic, they can't use their range attack against the towers. So the sound beam towers are actually really effective, so this artillery is basically necessary if Nisperox really wants to clear these expos.
Yeah, I truly believe that if Nisperox had kept attacking with those killer whales, he would have just been throwing resources down the drain. He was not getting anywhere. And the hench plays and the sound beam towers are so meta these days as well. Mutt's got a lot of sound beam practice. He's an extremely good sound beam player.
Yes, he is, and just that's the idiosyncrasies of Sonic. You get advantages, but you also get a lot of disadvantages, unfortunately.
Yes, it's a tricky one. Mutt once again doing his thing where he just walks up to the expo, which I love. I really do.
He really just walked up and built a workshop.
Exactly. But
he still doesn't have 4, and I mean at this point Nisperox is he can wipe Mutt's army completely.
And here it goes. Oh my goodness, that is so brutal. These Sonics, look at the damage that's being dealt against all of these units.
12 Sonic getting hit by multiple Sonics at the same time.
12 with Pack.
Slowing effect as well. Oh yeah, with Pack it's probably 13 or 14 damage. And you can see Mutt's army just evaporated. It's gone.
It is gone, and he managed to do pretty good damage against these killer whales, but I mean, given that he was fighting at a level disadvantage, pretty good damage, but ultimately nowhere near enough to stem the tide. And these very slow boys are going around the top here.
Yeah. And this is the right play from Nisperox. He just needs to clear out Mutt's expos, and Mutt won't be able to respond. He doesn't have it. Like if Nisperox can take away the expos, then Mutt is not going to have the room to get level 4. He started it, so.
Yeah, at least he'll get there.
If he can survive.
He's got so many henchmen here. So many henchmen about to die.
Point, or maybe he had the henchmen building, so he kept the coal staffed while he built towers. But those towers are just not going to last against that many artillery.
Yeah, that's a really good play for this map, actually. I wonder, I mean, you could go, I suppose you could go Hammerhead Bombardier as well. It would be quite similar, just immune instead of regen, probably about the same speed.
Yeah, there's several Bombardier combinations that are quite intriguing in terms of range and such. But I don't think it would be as cheap because I think it would have a bit more health and a bit more size.
Quite
so
possibly. Quite possibly. And really, the regen on these guys is pretty good as well. Regen on really cheap units is pretty fun. Because you just make as many as you want and just kind of cycle them out.
Yeah, and I mean, part of the problem for Mutt really is that until now he hasn't had the level 4s to be able to attack those artillery in melee range, and or with just powerful units in general. So Nisperox has been able to keep them alive and doing damage. And now that Mutt has the classic Cuddle Hippos, this is going to be a more even fight.
I would say
Unless
so.
Nisperox is going fun.
He's going to be able to chomp down on these little raisins now. Oh my goodness, base call is running up for Nisp, and he's 75% of the way to level 5. He definitely needs to be expanding his presence, and he is. So once he hits 5, I'm sure he will staff this expo adequately. Suddenly we are symmetrical.
Yeah, Nisperox finally taking the map, and it's good. If Mutt can defend that geyser, that's going to be a very important play, and he does.
He does. Well done.
But it is pretty damaged.
It's damaged. It's not fully upgraded either, and we need to see. Actually, I think we need to see Mutt make a play against this mid geyser. I don't think he's necessarily even aware that it's been taken, but that is how Nisperox managed to get to 5.
Yes, he doesn't have the sight to see inside the volcano without checking it with a gyro. I don't think so. I don't think he's ever realized that Nisperox has taken it.
Wow, that was some really... It was a quick skirmish, but there was so much damage being dealt.
That's so much damage.
Camo is boring.
Yes. Those Cuddle Hippos do not regen, so Mutt needs to get some hench healing if he wants to avoid that damage being very permanent.
This is really, really big from Nisp. I really like these Colossal Squawks. It's colossal, in fact. I really, really like these, and backing them up with this range is a great play.
Yeah.
Look at the damage.
They are stuck in a choke, which should be bad for them, but they're just too powerful.
Yeah.
Mutt only has level 3 artillery and
Mutt's
not enough
battered as well
from level 4s.
From the last fight, so it's kind of working out. The sandwich as well with these guys coming in from the south. Excellent little pincer. And these squawks is like finally Nisperox has a unit that he can kind of just send to expos and leave there. You don't need to do too much micro with those guys because they just will soak up infinite tower punishment.
Yeah, they take so much damage. They have regen, and they will take down towers very quickly as well. I mean, at this point, Mud is in deep trouble because not having level 5 to respond to these very high power units that will take enormous amounts of punishment as well. It's going to be a challenge.
I think Mutt knows exactly what he's up against here as well, because if I recall correctly, this is one of Mutt's favored level 5 units. Although I think I'm not sure, maybe he goes Muskox Head, I don't quite remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I mean, in any case, at this point you can definitely tell that they're very hard to kill. They do a lot of damage.
They are absolutely gorgeous.
Especially with herding, I mean, that is such a powerful unit.
Yeah, I mean, Mutt's still just making henchmen. Surely this is game over. Yeah, the lab is blown.
Yeah, that's it. That is it.
Wow. Well, that was a great 1v1 between Mutt and Nisperox. Nisperox just getting the edge there at the end.
Yeah, it's interesting because I felt like initially Nisperox almost was playing from behind because Mutt had more presence on the map, but Nisperox had the units, and his level 3 really made the difference. As he was able to sort of get a bit more space and build up to that level 4. And once he had level 4, Mutt was in deep trouble for the rest of the game and just really struggled to establish a good presence that he could build off of and threaten Nisperox.
Yeah, and I wonder if he even had any level 5s to go to. I mean, if you don't bring level 5s and you see those colossal squawkses coming out, it's time to go.
Yeah, at that point you can see Mutt knew that it was over when his once he lost his expansion, he knew that he was never going to be able to come back from that.
Certainly. But a lot of expo trading, a lot of rotation. That was really good to see.
Yeah, it was really cool to see how both players they never gave up until until the end, until it was very clear.
Yeah.
It was always defending what they have, taking what they can, finding those pockets where the other player can't respond. Nisperox with those tuna gazelles, just very, very good plays all around. And I'm sure we'll see more from these players.
Guaranteed,
Very
yeah.
excited for it.
And I really liked the use of Nisperox's level 2s even later into the game. He didn't necessarily make more gazelle tuners, but the ones that he had, he was able to continue to use effectively quite late into the play because they're such able raiders, you know.
Absolutely, I would love to see stats on this game because I wonder. I mean, they must have died eventually, but if you could see how long they were alive for, they must have survived for a good 2/3 of the game, just doing things,
doing stuff.
Yeah,
and that's
I mean, with Nisperox keeping them alive, and that just illustrates the value of an army that stays alive. Even level 2s can still be important and change the game at later levels. If you can put them in a position where they don't have too much resistance, you can change the game with them, and that's just from keeping them alive earlier on, knowing the limits of your creatures and taking advantage of it.
Davo, that is such an inspiring note to end the recording on. Thank you so much for joining.
Yes, thank you for casting this with me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. And we will catch you, the dear audience, next time.